This is the story of a man who is being run by a successful business. Yep, you heard me right. His business was running him and not the other way around. And the thing is, he didn't even know that it could be any different. He spent the typical business owner's week of 50 to 80 hours a week running his store. But there were details that, had he known them, he would have made changes a whole lot sooner. My name is David Stephen Roberts. I'm a business consultant, a QuickBooks trainer extraordinaire, and author of The Fit Rule, 3 principles that make your business successful from day one. In this true story, we will be looking at the work life of a man, we'll call him Harry, who loved what he did so much that the long hours and repetitive chores that he did each day seemed like fun, until he was shown a better way, a way to still do all he loved to do, but to make more money doing it, and inching he and his family closer to that ever elusive American dream of retirement and handing down his business to his children. Harry loved cowboy hats. As a kid, he marveled at the rodeo bronc busting cowboys and their elaborate, decorative hats. As a teen, he wore them. As a young adult, he wore them to parties and formal affairs. Yep, even at his wedding to his junior high sweetheart, who also donned a hat on their special day. When Harry decided to make a living from selling hats to people in his large western rich town, it was a dream come true. Leather hats, felt hats, straw hats, plastic hats, men's hats, women's hats, children's sized hats. He made sure his store had every hat and hat accessory on the market. Did you know there were hat accessories? Harry did. But after ensuring that his store had hats of all kinds, he still had about 10% of his floor space that was empty. He didn't want to leave it that way, so, as little more than an afterthought, Harry ordered some cowboy boots to sell. For almost a decade, Harry made a somewhat comfortable living. It wasn't 6 figures that he took home, but it was close. And after all those years, Harry began to slow down a little. His love for hats never wavered, but he longed to spend time at home with his wife and 2 children. Sadly, a business owner's time is often not their own. For a year, the bookkeeper Harry had hired had wanted to sit down and talk with him. But Harry thought he didn't have the time. After all, he was doing okay. What could a persistent bookkeeper tell him that his tax preparer couldn't? Finally worn down and tired from another 80-hour work week, the bookkeeper cornered him, and Harry relented. The bookkeeper had prepared charts and graphs that Harry had seen before, but never fully paid attention to. This last chart got his attention. It seems, the bookkeeper said, that in the last few years your expenses totaled X. Harry nodded. It seemed to be accurate. But I broke down the revenues in your store by category, the bookkeeper continued. Harry perked up and looked closely at the chart. The bookkeeper continued. With the profit margin on your hats and the level of sales of your hats, the revenue generated by the hat department only gets enough to pay for 25% of your total expenses every year. Look at the revenue, though, generated by your boots department. That 10% portion of your store accounts for paying 75% of your expenses. Harry's eyes widened at the news. You mean... Yes, the bookkeeper nodded. If you expand your boot department to be a third of your store, you will earn a 7-figure gross every year. Harry took his bookkeeper's advice and tore into his store's sales records. Hats that didn't sell quickly, he eliminated, and he expanded his boot department to be close to half of his store square footage. His first full year with the new layout enabled him to pay off his business and personal debts. In a few short years, he had 3 more stores in various parts of the state. He took his bookkeeper's advice further and ordered a review of his sales each year to determine which items were in stock because he liked them and which were in stock because they were selling so quickly. Today, Harry's first store still stands, and he is known as one of the largest dealers in Western wear in the country. My question to you today is, where are your hats? What product or service do you sell that takes 50, 60, 80% of your time, effort, and money and only generates a fraction of your revenues? Is it a product that could be sold that isn't currently being sold? Is it an asset that only serves a limited function that could be used more often to generate more revenues? Would you even know how to identify these hats that I'm speaking of? Is there a small tweak that could be made in your business to help you stop wasting all that time and effort and help you become more successful? Where can you start? It starts here with a BizBench business assessment performed by Roberts Business Services. A comparison of your numbers against those of every other business like yours in your industry, together with a 3, 6, and 9-month strategy plan to help your business perform better, more profitably, and achieve the goals you didn't dare set for yourself. A business assessment can help you cut expenses, increase revenues, overall saving you time, money, and effort in your business. It can help you increase the financial worth of your company by up to 70%. How much would it be worth it to you to increase your net worth by up to 70%? To increase efficiency, to gauge your success based on actual industry numbers. And we can do that for you. Where are your hats? Do you want to find them? Let us help you.